What is going on, guys? How are we doing today? So I just stopped at Skull Skates, which is a skate shop here in Vancouver. They're having a sale on a bunch of boards. If you guys are local and looking to get some boards at a discount, they're like $49 right now, so $50, and they only take cash, so pretty good deal. I picked up this Magenta here. It's an 825, so I was looking actually specifically for real skateboards because I just stepped on Ben DeGro's board the other day. It's a full SC 825, but it had like the perfect shape, nose and tail, very similar size, with a 14.25-inch wheelbase. I wasn't able to find it. It's actually kind of difficult to find real boards in the shops around here. I've been like even looking on websites. I'm always so frustrated when I'm shopping online for boards because most websites are just terrible, first off, and secondly, they never really list the wheelbase. They rarely even list the length, and they kind of don't even touch on the shape and the type of concave. I think Baker does it best. They actually list the length, they list the wheelbase, they list the concave. I think if I were personally to build a board brand, I would even go into more detail about the board and put like the description of like the shape, the wheelbase, the fingers, the flat. I would even go into detail about the trucks that it goes best with. But not everybody has kind of an in-depth product knowledge, but it is nice for those people who do have that knowledge. I think more and more now, as consumers, as skaters, we're starting to get more and more knowledge when it comes to our setups, and that's probably at the fault of people like Ben DeGro. But I think it's a cool thing. I think it's cool that we're able to kind of go more in depth, detailed about what we like. So what I like specifically about this board is actually has a really nice shape. I like the nose, kind of a classic popsicle type of shape, and the tail as well is kind of a nice shape. It's not too narrow, and it has about 2 fingers of flat, maybe a finger and a half. So more than my previous board. My previous board was a little short as far as the fingers of flat go. I think it was only like maybe like 3/4 of a fingers of flat, which I found kind of too short, which I didn't like. I mean, I got used to it, but I prefer a little more fingers of flat. Also, this has a 14.25-inch wheelbase, and it's an 825. I'm not sure what the length is. To be honest, I forget what the length is, and I don't have my measuring tape on me, so unfortunately I won't be able to do that. But let's grip it up and set it up. Right now, as you guys probably know, I'm on Thunders. I'm on the Thunder Lights. So those are the trucks that have the solid axles, hollow kingpin, and the forged base plates. I'm really liking them, starting to get used to them. They were kind of a bit annoying at first because I'm used to skating indies and I really like that turn feel. But yeah, I'm starting to get used to them and really like them for how kind of poppy and quick they feel for flip tricks and for grinds. I'm setting up some Jessup. I really want to start next time. Right now I just have like this huge roll of grip, so I'm kind of just using what I have. But I think next time I order grip, or if I have the opportunity to, I either want to try Jessup's Ultra Grip, something a little more grippy that'll last longer, or I just saw a Seba episode on the 9 Club, and he's got a grip tape company called Alvear, and he goes into like super in-depth nerding out about his board setup and his grip tape. He's a very kind of like detailed person, and I'd be really curious to try his grip out because I think he's put a lot of like R&D, research and development, into getting like really good quality grip tape. And I can always appreciate a skater who kind of takes the time and energy to like put out a product that they really back. And so I just thought I filmed a bunch of an intro to a video, but I apparently it wasn't recording. It's so annoying when that happens. It's funny growing up, like shopping for a board. I feel like most of us didn't really have as much product knowledge because it just wasn't as readily available, right? Whereas now, like with YouTube content out there, especially with like Ben DeGro's videos, he puts out videos talking about all the kind of fine-tuned details of of a setup. Whereas like when I was a kid, you'd like kind of just pick the board based on what the graphic is or the company that you like based on the video that you watched. Whereas now, like the graphic is almost like the last thing that I look at right now. Like I look at like the specific type of shape, and then I look at measurements. So I'm like, for me right now, is it an 825? Does it have a 14.25 inch wheelbase? How many fingers of flat on the tail? And then I look at the nose and tail. What kind of shape does it look like? Like would I be into like looking down at that when I skate? It's funny how things change. And then obviously I look at the graphic to see if I like it as well. This one's okay. It's pretty cool magenta. But yeah, that's the nose, pretty standard popsicle shape, and the tail. What I like about this is that the tail and nose are kind of similar in shape. Obviously the tail's a little smaller, but that's kind of my Goldilocks right now is a nose and tail that are somewhat similar. And it's got about a finger and a half or so flat on the tail, which is really good. But yeah, let's take apart my old setup here and start setting this thing up. Unfortunately, I forgot my big tripod at home. So right now I have like a kind of ghetto setup in the back of my trunk here. My phone's kind of resting on the back headrest. Hopefully we can see most of this setup. Unfortunately, I won't be able to get the best angle, but that's okay. And comment below, guys, what kind of setup you guys have been riding, and what if you got board madness, because I kind of am going through that phase at the moment. Although, like I say, I have board madness, but at the same time, I kind of am starting to figure out what I want and like, and I'm really enjoying these trucks. Like I said, I recently set them up. I know exactly what wheels I liked after experimenting with a couple different ones. So for me, it's the classic Formula 4s, the 52s. They don't last the longest, but for me personally, I just like a smaller wheel. And a lot of you would say like, oh, street skating is harder with the smaller wheel, but I don't know. A lot of pros rock these wheels and don't have any issues. And I get by. Speaking of street, I'm currently working on a street part with a bunch of friends out here in UBC. I don't know what we're going to call it yet. I'm not even sure when we're going to start editing it, but I currently have 1 minute and 35 seconds of footage. So I'm almost done. I think I have a trick or two left, and then I'm happy with that. So it might come out as a full length with all the homies. That's kind of the goal and the plan, but I also might just release the raw footage on my account as well. All right, let's set this up. Let's not get grip tapes stuck on the bottom of the board. I wish I had something sharp to poke this, but I don't. So we're going to just smash it through with the bolts. Trying to get a good angle here for you guys as I set this up. I would normally, like I said, have a better angle, but we're making it work. I've been on the same indie hardware now for like, I feel like over a year. I rock Phillips head. I know some of you guys probably think that's crazy, but it's just what I got one day, and been rocking it ever since. That's the front truck. Yes, let's not put the trucks on backwards. I should really get smaller bolts actually, because now that I'm on the forged base plate, they definitely stick out a lot more, which kind of looks silly, but not a big deal. Still works. Just more work to take a board apart and put a board together. I actually really like the way this kind of baby blue board looks. It's a nice look. I have no idea who the rider is. Leo Vowles. Do you guys know who that is? Leo Vowles? Sometimes I'll look up to just like on Instagram to see like who the rider of the board that I'm buying is, just out of curiosity, but I've never heard of this guy. I probably spent like maybe 25 minutes at the skate shop. They have like stacks of boards, and I was really looking for a specific board, like I said. So I had like the measuring tape out, and I was also just catching up with the homie Jeff, who works at Skull Skates. If you guys can't find Skull Skates on Google, They actually go under the name PD's Hot Shop. Not sure why. I think PD is the owner, and maybe that's just like the name of the business, but I think they're always kind of been known as Skull Skates. I think it might be the oldest skate shop in Canada, if I'm not mistaken, or one of the oldest. All right, we're almost done here with the front truck. This face, like the hair kind of reminds me of like old like Roman sculptures that you would see in like Rome and Florence. The David, that kind of old school hair. It's pretty cool. All right, let's take off the back truck off the old board. I remember when I was a kid, I feel like, or even like up until recently, I feel like boards used to last me a lot longer, but now like, I guess I'm just doing a lot more street skating lately, and I feel like I just go through boards so much quicker. Like I feel like I set this board up like maybe 2 weeks ago, and I'm already I'm already like pretty razor tailed, and the kind of grip tape's kind of starting to wear out. The other day I stepped on one of my old setups. I used to be on an 8.5. Actually, no, it's an 8.38. 8.38 with 149s and 52 millimeter conical fulls. And I just kind of stepped on it just to cruise around my neighborhood. And it's crazy how like foreign that setup feels to me now that I'm like used to Thunders. Those trucks with those wheels, I just feel like a monster truck. I feel like I was like floating so high off the ground, and my timing for my pop just felt crazy. Like I feel like I couldn't even pop an ollie properly. And it's so funny how like we get used to the way we do our tricks a certain way, right? And like the slightest change in equipment can alter how that all feels. I've been toying with the idea of making a kickflip tutorial video, because some of you guys have been requesting that. What do you guys think? Do you think I should make a kickflip tutorial video? I don't know if I'm there yet. Like I think, yeah, I got a pretty good kickflip. People say I have a okay kickflip, but I don't know. It's still not like 100% consistent, but I feel like I have a few tips that I could offer value to. I've really been trying to hone in on my kickflips as of recently, at least in the last 2-3 years. I've tried to perfect it because when I started skating again, like maybe 5 years ago, I had such a rocket flip and I couldn't like figure out why. And a lot of it had to do with timing and when to pop, when to flick. And I found that I was probably popping and flicking too quickly and not giving it enough of a delay between the pop and the flick, and not getting enough of contact on the tail. But yeah, I should make a video about that, go in more detail. A few turns away and then we can head to the park. I'll probably bring this old Alzheimer's board with me. That way, if anyone at the park needs a new board, there's always kind of younger guys that need a new board based on their old board being kind of old and, yeah, old. Yeah, I need to get smaller hardware. This is kind of annoying to do. Yeah, let's come take a look at this. That's the setup. Looks good. I really like it. That's the nose. At least I hope it is. And then that's the tail. That's it. That's the setup. I'm going to head to the park now, and it might be another video. If not, you'll see some flat ground skating or some park skating after this. Otherwise, we'll catch you in the next session, guys. Take it easy. Peace.
platform, but